Alrighty then, my royal chums, it is I, Daniel, you may call me the pop culture dude, and I know the lighting's kind of distracting in the background, but we are back for another Sonic Movie 3 video, but this time it'll be a part 2 of the merch unboxing, because in part 1 that I made last month, which made a tons of views, so thank y'all very much. So I already made an unboxing of the minifigures, the plushies, even the Dr. Robotnik 5-inch figure, but if you look right there on the shelf, I've got the main attraction, the ultimate life for the ultimate package of Team Sonic versus Shadow. And you want to know what's cool about these dudes? They light up, live and learn, hanging on the edge of tomorrow. So, without further ado, let's unbox Team Sonic vs. Shadow, Sonic Movie 3 Merch Unboxing Edition. Zoo! Courtesy on the pre-order shipping from Target themselves. This is not sponsored, by the way. As we get a close-up look on this bed, because clearly there wasn't enough space for me to place this on desktop with a decent shot. But either way, we actually got the Sonic heroes themselves. We got Sonic in his 5-inch scale form. We got Tails where he's looking upset. Then you got my boy Knuckles putting up his Knuckles fist before he gets cracked by Shadow the Hedgehog, aka Keanu Reeves versus Idris Elba versus Ben Schwartz versus Colleen O'Shaughnessy. So as you see from the box art, you definitely see, as always, reused renders of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles from the last 2 Sonic movies. But also, you get to see a brand new render of Shadow the Hedgehog, which is a reference to the Sonic Adventure 2 callback, which I do appreciate that callback. And then you go to the side, and then you get the usual, like, Sonic where he's pointing at you that you see in all 2, 3 of the movies. And then on the other side, for representing Shadow, then you got this pose right here where it definitely just shows Shadow the Hedgehog, which I think that's cool. And then you take a look at this where it says Sonic and Shadow light up, and it shows different translations. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why I decided to buy this, because not only they're 5-inch scale figures, I just think it's going to be cool that Sonic and Shadow could put some LED lightings. And they used to have like a try me feature like on the side of the box, but I decided to pull it out. But once again, once what I tried to do with Sonic, zoom, he's already blue dabba dee dabba die. And then when I get to Shadow, he's already glowing red, just like what you see in the trailer. And now, as we're seeing these two face to face each other with blue and red, let's unbox this, shall we? Also, I want to bring this up. It literally has an instruction manual that has the illustrations of Knuckles, Shadow, Sonic, and Tails in the figure form, so I think that's pretty cool. But not only just that, it literally shows an instruction manual of how to remove the batteries for both Sonic and Shadow, because, you know, they have LED lights inside of their chest, so it's pretty cool that we got like a tutorial for that. And then once when I unbox it, you guys gotta take a look at this. It literally has like the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 logo in the back, because obviously it's based on Sonic Adventure 2's logo, because mainly that's the inspiration for this movie. So then you definitely got the 4 boys like in this cool background where it's all blue, probably taking place in Tokyo, Japan, just like in the trailer. But then you got like all the close-ups. So now I'm gonna take a while just to release these figures in the flesh, or plastic flesh if you prefer. Alrighty then, after minutes of literally trying to remove all these straps, you see these small little duty things? That's the one thing that kind of keeps me more time just to unbox these. But in a way, they're all free, and yes, I got Dr. Robotnik by the side, but for now they're finally free from their quote-unquote cages that they were sacred inside the box. And then we can get a closer look up of the figures themselves. Bada bing, Sonic boom. Now that we finally got all the 4 main characters out of the box, as it took a couple of minutes just to remove them out of the straps, they are all finally here outside of the box. So without further ado, let's just start off with the Blue Blur himself. So to be fair, I will bring in my 4-inch figure in comparison, but now this is the 5-inch figure. I haven't got the single pack one, even though it's the exact same facial expression as the Sonic 2 figure, which I will held that by comparison later on. But by the joints, you can definitely see that he's glowing blue, just like in the first film where he goes, and I'm gonna use this to protect my friends. I see that in the new editions of these Jakks-specific figures, you can actually let the characters like hold accessories, which is kind of curious that for me to be like, you know, to be curious about, just because I think they decided to not put any accessories. But either way, I do think the arms are quite swivelly where you decided to like go back and forth. And yeah, every time I try to like press the chest, it's always going to be lighting blue. Like heck, you can even see like the screw behind where you can just replace the battery if you have like the right screwdriver and the mini battery, just remove it all. And then same goes for the shoes. The shoes can kick forward, which I'll admit, the Sonic 3 figure for this one is a lot more flexible than the Sonic 2 one. Like, I could definitely do like the stretching pose, like snack, a little stretch, and here we go, trying to do some Sonic yoga classes. So I can make him like different type of poses. Can I make him do the running pose? No, it kind of looks like he's kind of doing like a split or something. So either way, the one thing that will be annoying is you gotta get used to like pushing the figures of his fur like literally in the middle. But yeah, can you move his head? Yeah, you can. But the thing is, you can't twist it around just like I did with the Robotnik figure. So either way, seems pretty cool for Sonic, which I will say, like I said, I think the joints are a lot more improve. I can't say the same for the solo one, but we'll have to see. But this one, like I said, is more flexible than the Sonic Movie 2 figure, which I will bring that out in a second. And as I got the Sonic Movie 2 figure literally right here, because you could tell that this is 4-inch and this is clearly the 5-inch one. You can see that this one is like, these two, in terms of facial expression, it's just rehashed, but you can tell this one is more lighter blue, while Sonic 2 is more darker blue. And this is what I mean, guys. Like, I don't know about you, for those that owns the Movie 2 figures, but this is like the only one I got aside from Robotnik. But seriously, I just think the joints about this are a bit too stiff. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like the mold of the figures of what they did like 2 years ago, but I just feel like there's like a lack of articulation with the joints. But at least I can move the head left to right, kind of similar like this one, and hopefully none of these Sonic figures don't fall. But either way, like, you could tell from the height diff by saying, "Hey little bro, how's it going? I don't know, why you're glowing so much? How about you stare into my eyes? Whoa, I feel even more powerful than before. Gotta go fast." Like, literally, like, the height differences is like big bro and little bro. But I will admit, the one thing that does get a little annoying, aside from the buttons, like the quills are just kind of like distracting in the way, even though they kind of did that with the other figure, but it doesn't even light up, so he looks more like a blue porcupine than a hedgehog. But it is what it is from the side-by-side comparisons. Like, I still think this is a good figure. Like, if I decided to compare him to Robotnik size, like the 5-inch figure that I got from right here, like, if you remove this Sonic, he is more in vain to be the height with the 4-inch Sonic figure from Sonic 2. And then when you get to Sonic 3, it's like he's literally next to a Chuck E. Cheese mascot. And then if you decide to do the 4-inch figure of Dr. Robotnik from Sonic 2, like, literally the height difference where it's like, looks like I'm bigger than you, Eggman. I like the new look, it works on you. This is like bygones be bygones. I did some things, you did some things. We've got some good people on both sides. I know I'm messing up the lines, but I don't have a script for it, unless if it's written in gold ink. So either way, definitely 4-inch Robotnik will not be in vain with any of the 5-inch ones. And even though I do like Robotnik as a figure, like, you could definitely move them along with the head joints in comparison. But definitely when it comes to like height accuracy of the characters, the 4-inch one is definitely more height appropriate than comparison to the 5-inch one, even though I do think the Robotnik figure is a higher improvement than this one. But anyway, that's it for the Robotniks and the Sonic the Hedgehog figures. Let's move on to the other characters, and I bet you already know which one I'm actually going to consider is none other than Keanu Reeves himself, which I'll admit, I've already seen the photos of the 5-inch Shadow figure, and bro, like, feeling on the mold of him looks absolutely sick. Like, I'm not even kidding with you. I mean, I don't know if I could say the same for the 5-inch figures, because I'm aware that he has a solo one. There's a new one with the second wave where it shows Super Sonic, Tails wearing a Chow mascot head, and probably the same Knuckles figure, but they just changed the teeth. I'm like, well, I guess they're trying to avoid spoilers just to include a Super Shadow figure, but we'll see. But either way, he does clench up the fist. If you want Shadow to hold up a gun, he'll be like, I got a gun. Lots of guns. Just like what John Wick or Neo from The Matrix would say, because you get it, Keanu Reeves. So then you can definitely see more of the details of the shoes. Like, you can literally just recreate scenes from the trailer and just be like, can we just talk about this? Ah! And then basically you just take it down Shadow. And the best thing about it is, I think the light up features, it looks so cool on Shadow, because like I said, it's definitely like similar, like the shot that you saw from the trailer once when he wakes up and breaks out of the tube, just like you see in the trailer. And once again, it's definitely giving the vibes that you can let these two clash, Sonic Adventure 2 style. Like, literally, like, I remember from the trailer where Sonic was like, what did you do? And then Shadow was like, what I had to. Literally, you can just make them zoom by and just go, bow, bow, now, bow, 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 bow. Like, basically, I could tell, like, from Shadow's joints, it's definitely a lot more loose. And even though, if you look at Sonic's, I can move his wrist for his figure, but for Shadow, there's a couple of limits. I mean, I could still open the fingers if I wanted to hold like an emerald or a gun or a Chaos Swiss roll, if anyone gets the reference. But either way, I think Shadow's legs are a lot more wobbly, a lot more loose, so I don't want to break it, but you got to kick that, and then after that, Shadow can do like a front kick and actually just take Sonic down. So the 5-inch figure is easily the best looking one of them all, despite the loose leg and everything. But aside from Sonic and Shadow, I mean, the main reason why I want to get this box, because instead of just getting the characters individually and make sure my wallet doesn't go empty, how about we have my boy Knuckles the Echidna? And boy, I've never owned the Knuckles figure from Sonic 2, so I can imagine he's going to be smaller, but man, look how the way that you can articulate his gloves to just be like,
Will there be grapes? Because after all, the grapes are delicious. Victory is ours.
I mean, Idris Elba definitely carries Knuckles in a way. Oh, I think this would be funny if actually trying to recreate the moment where Shadow tries to break Shadow's fist. Can I actually do that where he charges up and then after that he breaks the wrist and then just kicks him up? Okay, I think for any stop motion artists out there, they can literally like recreate the moment for the sake of the hee hee ha ha funny memes. But anyway, just to take Shadow aside and just focus on the muscly head. I can't really articulate his head, but I can still move on his torso. Wow, never expect Nux to be so flexible. Can I actually make him do push-ups? Do you know the way? But yeah, if I look at his Lego-sized boots, they're very well detailed and just like similar like the Sonic and Shadow that you can definitely see the eyes where they move left to right, kind of like the Mario movie toys. But either way, the Knuckles figure absolutely looks sick. Like aside from Shadow, like I think in terms of the head sculpt, they did a really good job with Knuckles of how the way he articulates or whenever he just wants to pull out a fist until Shadow decides to break it. So Knuckles is the GOAT and he absolutely looks great as a figure. And now we get to the little boy that forgot to get his lunchbox, Miles Tails Prower, aka Tails. So I like the fact that there's a different facial expression where he's not happy by saying, "Alright, can't wait to face this guys," and then Shadow just takes him down like he always does in other Sonic media. But either way, I like the fact that this Tails figure, you can actually move his tails. I mean, it's kind of a shame that you can't really recreate the moment where, you know, he can just turn his tails into a butt copter or something like that. But either way, I think Tails is probably like the one that has like the least limits. Like, look, I can't even rotate his head. Like, I could do the same for like the other characters, but not for Tails apparently. But either way, it's still cool just to have him, and he can actually click his fingers and make sure that he wants to like be a part of the action. Be like, "Don't worry, guys, I'll punch him. Get out of the way, shorty." And then he just easily takes down Tails. So either way, I think Tails is probably, I mean, it's a no-brainer that he's my least favorite in terms of the toys. But however, I think in terms of like comparing it to the other figures, it's definitely a high improvement. But the saddest thing is, I don't think I can recreate moments where Sonic wants to hang on to Tails and then basically Sonic has to hang on while he flies. I mean, I don't know. Does it look like a pretty picture to you guys? I don't know if this is really considering it. But either way, it's cool to have Tails in it regardless, and despite having him, like, you know, a happy face in wave 1, and then in the second wave, from what I see, is that Tails is wearing one of the Chow mascot heads, because, you know, in the trailer, they went to this Chuck E. Cheese looking restaurant that's basically based on Chow Garden from Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and now I guess in the movie, he actually wears a mask on his head, which I'm like, alright, I thought it was going to be like, similar like a helicopter pilot hat, but it is what it is. So Tails, I definitely think he's the most sensitive, and look, I can't even make him stand on his own, but at least his two tails would save his life. And what do you know, Tails? You see what you did? You actually take down Shadow with 2 of your tails. Just make sure you don't have like 9 of them. But at least I can make Tails stand when I decide to make the tails 2 separate. So like I said, I think his own 2 tails is like the best thing for what's the biggest highlight for this figure. So I think that's all when it comes to like for them individually. I'm gonna compare to these guys to their minifigure counterparts. Wow, talk about evolution at its finest with these figures. I mean, literally, if you go from the start for Robotnik, from his 5-inch counterpart, then his Sonic 2 4-inch figure, and then the 2.5-inch scale figure from Sonic 3, you can definitely see the evolution of the Doctor. And then for Knuckles, apparently I don't have the Sonic Movie 2 figures of Tails and Knuckles, but at least I got the 3rd movie figures. But either way, you can tell how miniature, where he's like, oh, he's a small little warrior, I like him. And then you got the 3 Sonics, where you got the 5-inch one that lights up, then you got the 4-inch one from Sonic 2, and then you got the main current one for the 2.5-inch figures. And then for Shadow, since he never really had an appearance of the figures of Sonic 2 because he's mainly saved for Sonic 3, but then you got the 2.5 minifigure, which clearly, in terms of like the figures and sculpt and everything, Shadow's still the best. And then for Tails, this is definitely from the Sonic 2 movie pack from the minifigs I got, because they never made a Sonic Movie 3 one for Tails in the mini form, so it is what it is. So definitely from the inch and scaling, they definitely look cool side by side, but I forgot to add a random addition just to include the scale and to make it more uncanny. And that's right, I'm adding the Super Mario Brothers, because if you guys could tell, apart from Toad, you know the reason why that the Sonic toys definitely look a lot like this in comparison with the Mario toys, because they're made by the same company toys that they made, the Jakks Pacific, and you can tell from the 5-inch bro, Sonic looks very tall in comparison to Mario. It's more like, hey, what's up, Andy? I always like you, Parks and Rec. Thank you. Are you also John Ralphio? Oh yeah, you don't want to consider Snow Dogs because that movie's the worst. So you can tell that Sonic is a lot more tall than Mario, but then in comparison to Luigi, yeah, I say Sonic and Luigi are up on top. Hey, high five, Green Bow. Okie dokie. So clearly you can tell that Sonic is definitely a lot more taller. But then, oh, now everyone's gonna fall down. And then Knuckles, bro, Knuckles can easily beat him down, be like, huh, you're quite pitiful. Oh, mamma mia. But yeah, Knuckles, he can easily tower everyone and even take down Toad. And speaking of Toad, is he in the same par size Tails? Wow, now that I think about it, they're actually like similar, like in the same height with each other now that I think about it. But then I forgot to include Shadow in comparison to the other characters. So clearly, Shadow could take down the Mushroom Head. He's as tall as Luigi, but definitely taller as Mario. But then when you decide to bring Robotnik to the mix, definitely he's taller than everyone, even taller than Mario, taller than Shadow. It's like, man, they don't get the height accuracy right for any of these characters. Like, they're all going to an identity crisis. Somebody please help me!
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
You're a colorful bunch.
We don't want to fight you.
Actually, Sonic, I would like to fight.
Knuckles, no!
Ah! Time to give you a proper handshake. Ah! Oh.
Alright, my turn. Whoa, can we just talk about this?
No, less talking, more kung fu.
Ah!
Let's do this! Now, which quill should I use? Maybe I should lick yours or yours? Huh, probably both, because I have a huge fetish. And this is why I should never consider of doing stop motion videos, because I make complete mess of things, including insert the Peter Griffin meme.
And now I can officially say that is a wrap when it comes to the comparisons of the 5-inch figures from this Target exclusive pack. You can definitely get exclusively on Target. I definitely say that Jakks Pacific has done a way past cool job of upgrading all of these Sonic 3 figures. I mean, despite the spikes in the LED, which definitely makes them look cool if you decide to turn them off at night. But either way, I definitely say that this is a cool addition for anyone who's excited for the movie. Do I expect any of new characters like Amy Rose? I doubt that she's in the movie, if I'm going to be honest. But am I interested on getting like the other ones, like the Crab Meat Mech or the Shadow on the Motorbike or the Wave 2 figures? I'm like, nah, I think this is the best way just to complete my merch collection for Sonic 3. Like, I'm satisfied in terms of the toys. I definitely am satisfied for what I got, unless they make McDonald's Happy Meal toys later on. But either way, comment down below of which one that you're planning to get. Do you plan on getting the 4-pack or any of the small minifigures or even Robotnik figure? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're interested in getting the Sonic Movie 3 toys, then go get them at Walmart, Target, GameStop, or whatever the heck you use. But anyway, that's a wrap for this video, and we're definitely going to see you guys in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye then. Gotta go fast.